and also some Windows features, Windows 10 features, not Windows features, Windows 10, some features, additions up to here. Okay. So it will take one part of session. So we'll see. So Windows and Linux difference. This is a common question for any interview, guys, because computer means Windows generally, right? So Windows means why you are not using Linux or what is the purpose of Linux. It's another comment. Next one is you are using a Windows means what is another desktop or laptop operating system we are using. So desktop means desktop or laptop, whatever it is. Another one is Mac operating system. Okay, desktop level operating systems are Windows and Mac is also there. So that question is also most common. General questions, guys, always important, very important is general questions, not any specific technical questions. Even you don't know a specific type, not a big deal. Okay, for example, how you configure a switch or a router, how you which type of cable you connect from your router to another router. Okay, so what are the cables we use in WAN connectivity? So it may not be, so it's not a general idea. It is in generally fiber optic cable. That's it. Not more than that one. We don't know, right? So, but generally, so your mobile phones, laptops, or RAM related, or any basic computer related is very, very important. Of course, networking entirely important. What are I told? That is very important. Okay. So here it is again. So first of all, we'll see the difference between Windows and Linux, and I will tell orally Windows and Mac OS. That is, you can try from anywhere, not required anything. Architectural level, not required, guys. Okay. Remember, architecture level, like how Windows is constructed, what is internal file structure, that is kind of stuff not required. Even for a Linux or a Mac OS is also not required. Windows and Linux is always a good comparison. Why? Because of in Windows, we have a desktop operating system and server operating system. Windows desktop and Windows server operating system. Desktop means Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 8. These are all desktop operating systems. Windows Server operating system 2022, 2019, 2016, this 2012, like you can go date backs, that is a Windows Server operating system. Windows Server operating system. But in a Linux, is a majorly server operating system, very less desktop operating system. Means desktop and server type is there, but majorly server type of operating system only. Desktop wise, very less. For example, you take a Ubuntu desktop. It's a desktop based operating system. Of course, you can make it as a server, but still it is a desktop based operating system. Okay. Linux means desktop based operating system. But Mac OS is desktop operating system. Mac is not server. Okay. Apple don't have any server based operating system as I know. Really, if it is Apple servers are there, I don't know that one. Okay, I never any bypass made in touch with that when any Apple servers are there. Okay, so as you know, when Apple MacBooks are a desktop-based operating system, laptops are a desktops kind of stuff. Okay, so it is a good to the comparison between Windows and Linux. It is Windows is a not open source and Linux is open source. Again, lot of people mistaken about a open source. Open source does not mean free. Means I got an application or an operating system, it is freely available. It does not mean it is open source. The open source means you take an application or an operating system which is built by some code, right? They'll build an application or an operating system using coding, software coding, right? The source code of this software or a operating system, okay, is open to everyone. The source code is available to everyone. and any person can take the source code, develop as per their requirement, distribute as per their like it. Even they can able to sell it with a certain price. Okay. So what is a open source? The source code of an application or maybe an operating system is available to everyone. Any person can take the source code, develop as per their requirement and distribute as they like it, even for a payment. So that is a source code. So Linux is a open source. It's not a completely open source kind of stuff. It's a open source part, but thing is, mm, Linux kernel part of operating system is source code. So this is kernel.org, the Linux kernel. You can directly download it from here, and then you can develop the Linux kernel, and you can put some shell on it. Then you can develop both the things. You can build your own operating system with your own name. For example, take 70s. 70s is very interested to build their own Linux operating system. Okay, so download a kernel instead of Linux. I put a 70s Linux operating system. Yes, L operating system, or maybe like a 70s OS, Sav OS. So some name I will put it. Okay, so it's like I'm not saying joking, but point is just I download the latest release or maybe previous release. Okay, this is a one actually long term release. This is mainline release. These are the stable releases. This is stable release. Okay, take the download and you can open the code and add some coding in it and build your own operating system. You can distribute it. You know who is the behind this Linux kernel is Linus Torvalds. This is the person who behind this Linus Torvald. Compulsory, you must know his name, guys, because of not only for Linux, also for GitHub, Git and GitHub. Okay, this Git and GitHub. So that is the point. So Linux and GitHub. Okay, actually, Linus Torvald taken a Unix kernel, the not complete kernel part, a part of Unix kernel. He developed that Unix kernel and put a name called a Linux kernel. Okay, so that's why his name and Unix it's combinedly Linux. Linus, Linux, Linux. Why Linux? UIX. Why? Because of Unix. And he applied for a GPL, General Public License, in a GNU, means GNU not Unix type. It's not a Unix, it is Linux. Okay, so and he given this Linux kernel to everyone. As per a General Public License version 2, it is available to everyone. Okay, any person can take Linux and develop it and distribute it as per their requirement. Okay, so these Linux flavors are more lot of flavors are came into market. There is still some problem. That's why I cannot see things. Okay, not op not a Windows is not a open source. Linux is open source means source code of that application or a operating system. Whatever it is, it's a source code is available to everyone. Any person can take it, develop it, and distribute it. Not a open source means Windows operating system, the source code is not available to everyone. Okay, Even you cannot buy the source code of Windows operating system. It is completely locked, so you don't know the source code, so you cannot create another Windows operating system on yourself. It is a proprietary of Microsoft. Windows is a proprietary of Microsoft. The Linux is no proprietary kind of stuff. There is no proprietary means you no need to pay to download a Linux kernel or implement the kernel kind of stuff. You don't need to take any license for that one. There is no proprietary for a Linux. Guys, Linux distributions having a maybe having a proprietary part, but here it is Linux I'm talking. Linux distributions different, Linux is different. Of course, it is developed by Linus Torvald actually. Windows operating system is a GUI based. Mostly Windows is preferable. Why? Because of it is GUI based, graphical user interface, and less use of CLI, command line interface. Powerful CLIs is in a Linux. The command line interface is very powerful. You can do multiple tasks, things using a CLI base, and very less use of GUI. Okay, remember that points also kind of stuff. Okay. So Microsoft only distribute Windows operating system. When Microsoft exactly say not a distribution, releasing. So Windows 10 is released from Microsoft. Windows 11 is released from Microsoft. Windows something will be released in the future, maybe 12, maybe 14, maybe 15, maybe 20, 20, 24, 25, something will be released. Okay, we don't know yet, but that is also from Microsoft. Windows Server 2022, Windows Server 2019, also distributed by Microsoft. So Microsoft distribute the Windows OSs. In a Linux, it is not like that, guys. Anyone can distribute the Linux operating system. Different distributions like a Ubuntu distributed Windows operating system, sorry, Ubuntu desktop operating system, CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Debian, Fedora, Asian Linux, AW Linux. Okay, even AWS also having their own core Linux. It is there. People take a Linux kernel, develop, and as per their requirement, and they distribute as per their requirement, as per their related. Okay. Given Kali Linux is also Linux based. Bell Attract Linux, Kali Linux, Scientific Linux. There's so many different flavors of Linux. Linux Mint are there. Asian Linux, SUSE, OpenSUSE. These are all Linux distributions. There is hundreds of Linux distributions. In a Windows, mostly it is not a case sensitive. Like you create a file, capital A dot file dot com means capital A dot txt, small a dot txt. In Windows, both are same. In Linux, both are different. It's a case sensitive in Linux. Pay for license. In Windows operating system, mostly you have to use license key, and you have for a license key, you have to pay for it. Okay, maybe one or two some other things, but so most of the Windows kind of stuff, you have to pay for license too. Without license, you can't use the product. Free license in generally Linux based operating system. Not every thing we are not putting in a bracket. Maybe some may require to pay for uses of Linux operating systems. Maybe for at least for support you have to pay. For support you have to pay for license. Like you need a Red Hat Enterprise Linux support. Means operating system is freely available, but you need a support, you have to pay. So Linux, free Linux, okay, sometimes it may not be free for support related, but in generally most of the Linux flavors are available freely. Okay, so free licenses, so you can use without having any separate payment. Guys, some people Windows is no security, Linux is having security. That is for me, it is not the correct word. That's why I didn't put a that security kind of stuff. Every operating system has their own security type. Linux security, Windows security. What is meant by security, that is has to be defined. Without defining security, you can't say Windows is not secure, Linux is not secure. Both are secure enough. Okay. If in case any interviewer or someone is asked you specifically which one is more secure, tell them Linux is more secure. Okay. If you say good, means that is okay, good. If you say no, means it's okay, no problem. Okay. So don't worry about which one is secure, kind of stuff. Both are secure as per their security policies. Okay. By default, Windows is secure. Linux, we can make it more secure than normal Linux operating system. That's possibility is there in the Linux. That's it is more secure. Okay, we can create our own security rules in the security things in the Linux operating system. Windows provide by default securities. Point is, guys, virus free. In a Linux, it's virus free. It is also not correctly, but there is point. Why virus free kind of stuff? Most of the viruses are created and attacks for a Windows based systems, because Windows operating system worldwide very largely using operating system. Okay, so people also created a viruses to attack on a Windows system with a different ways. Okay, so in a Linux, of course, it is most of the Linux is the server sides. Next one is Linux operating system don't know how to execute this Windows based files executions like .exe kind of stuff. Okay, so Windows based viruses won't work in Linux, and in a Linux also not self executable type. Okay, until unless so something you download a application or which is having some wrong in their script, maybe it will do some problem. Okay, of course, it does not mean Linux never get a virus kind of stuff. Simply say Windows-based viruses won't react in a Linux, because Linux cannot run any .exe or .msi or .co cmd. Okay, .bat. These things cannot run by Windows. Desktop OS, server OS. In Windows desktops are there, Windows servers also there, but separately. But most of the Linux distribution like CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linuxes, Oracle Enterprise Linux, okay, Fedora, these are all we are using for mainly for server purpose only, not for regular desktop purposes. Okay. Windows is user friendly, guys. Why Windows is largely using is the more important thing in a Windows is you can run multiple types of applications on a Windows operating system. In server operating system, in Windows operating system. In Linux, it may not support all type of applications, random applications, so specific applications only it will work. Okay. And of course, it's more about a server side, less in the desktop side. Desktop means should be supported by multiple applications. But Linux is not like that. It is does not support all kind of multiple applications. Okay? There is some restriction. Windows is user friendly. Why? Because of graphical user interface, which is more interactive for a people can start using machine. You may observe from in these Corona times, so lot of kids they started using their own laptops, desktops, because they are using. I mean, their parents maybe don't know about a computer, but they know how to operate a computer. Okay, they easily learn. Why? Because it's user friendly. Okay. Linux is not like that, guys. You want to install an application, you want to do certain setup, or you want to make a certain purpose. It's not much easy as Windows you do it. Okay. In Windows, the highest privileged user account is administrator. Highest privileged user means highly privileged user means the user can able to do anything in the system. So they can install an application, uninstall application, change the settings, they can add multiple users, they can delete the users. So like that, highly privileged users. The account name is administrator. Okay, account type is administrator. Admin. In a Linux, that highest privileged user is root user. The username is root, ROOT. Not a capital, smaller only, but I kept a capital. Okay, root, small root, ROOT. All are small letters. The root user is a administrator of Linux, highest privileged user, highly privileged user. As I said, Windows is single user multitasking. Only one user, whether it is Windows Server or a Windows Desktop, it is only one user at a time. They can log into the system either directly or remotely. Multitasking, multiple tasks you can able to run. Unix is not like that. So Unix or Linux is a multi-user multitasking. Means multiple users can able to log in at a time either physically or remotely. You can able to log in and you can do multiple tasks. Multi-user multitask. Require more hardware footprint. What is this hardware footprint, guys? I have a system, something like it is a i5 processor, 8 GB RAM, and 500 GB hard disk. Good. I install a Windows 10 operating system. To install a Windows 10 operating system, the minimum requirement is 4 GB RAM, 1 GHz processor or 1.4 GHz processor is required, or 20 or 30 GB free disk space is required. So while it is running, also it is required to take this CPU power, RAM power, and disk utilization is higher. Okay. So to run a Windows operating system or to install a Windows operating system, we need a more hardware part, more hardware. So that is a called a require more hardware footprint. It utilize your CPU, RAM, and your disk more. In Linux, it works with a very small infrastructure also, like a less disk space occupation, less CPU utilization, very less utilization of RAM also. Why it is, of course, Linux is basically CLI based, powerful CLI. This is not need to run any every background graphical kind of stuff. It is not required to run, right? See in Windows, so many colors, background kind of stuff, applications. Okay, everything has to show things. So it means obviously the processing requirement, memory requirement, storage requirement become higher in Windows. In Linux, it's not required all these things. So background colors and all kind of stuff, it is not required. So very less utilization of CPU, RAM, and your disk space. That is why it is less hardware footprint, require more hardware footprint. Guys, I put some questions, but remember properly. Important one is Linux is a open source. The source code of Linux is available to everyone. So what is that source code is nothing but a kernel part of operating system. So Linux basically a kernel, not a complete OS. Complete OS is developed and distributed by different people, multiple distributions. Powerful CLI. No proprietary. There is no proprietary for a Linux, but it is developed by Linus Torvald. Linux is case sensitive. Linux is case sensitive. Most of the Linux operating systems are having free licenses. So you need to pay for a license. Linux basically used for a server related only. Very less use at a Linux. To work with a Linux operating system, not everybody can able to work it. You need a specially trained professional to work on a Linux. Linux having highly privileged user is called a root. In Windows, that is the user we call administrator means Linux administrator account name is root. Okay. Linux multi-user multitasking. Linux utilize hardware resources very less as compared to Windows. Okay. So this is about your Linux and of course about your Windows differences. Okay. If you understand one, then automatically second one is also understandable. Okay. No one is speaking.
Yes, sir.
Understand, sir.
Yes, sir. Got the point.
Very good. Okay. So compulsory read it, guys. It's already. I'm not only telling for now. Okay. The what are the knowledge I'm giving? So that is useful for to learn something on it. Second one to work, basic understanding of work related. Any interview you are attending, not only this interview, any interview you are attending, these very basic things. If you keep reading, keep thinking, keep searching, okay, it is very useful for future interviews also. Okay, that's why better to know things.
Okay, sir.
Okay, here it is, Windows 10. Of course, we see in Windows and Linux differences, but I continue this part. Okay, as next one. Okay, Windows 10 provide many features and improvements. It's nonsense. Okay, so in Windows 10, so there is certain features we must know while we are working with the Windows operating system. Some are very important, some are we can ignore in generally. Okay, some features even it is there in a earlier operating system, that type of features also better to know it. Okay, but in a here it is mostly it is Windows 10 related. We'll see. Start screen, start menu improvements. This is the start screen. When I press the Windows button, okay, so I right click on Windows button, you will get this kind of direct menu. Or if you click on Windows button, you will get like this. On your keyboard also you have Windows button. If you click the start menu open. Here it is showing tiles. It means you want to access some application. No. It is pin to taskbar. I want to pin to. Okay, it is not showing that one. Yeah, here it is, pin to start. So it is automatically pinned here. So next time when I want to access this one, so I can access from here also. If you want, I can remove it also. Like this. Okay. A specific thing here is a calculator. It is a Microsoft Store, and this is OneNote, PowerPoint, Outlook. So I want some application. Mm, Outlook is also here. I want Oracle Oracle VirtualBox application. See, more, not a more, guys. Simply pin to start. So it is showing. So instead of I'm searching here, so instead of searching in here, so I can open from here. If in case I don't want to put under my screen, also I can open it from here. This simply okay. So we can customize to from tails. We can resize the tiles kind of stuff also. We can do it. We can resize also. In earlier start menus are different. So for example, you can go to XP. Okay. So Windows XP start menu is a more stylish as compared to earlier, but now you can see this is start menu. Same goes for Vista. Vista is much changes like Windows Vista operating system. More experience, more graphics and all, but Vista cannot stand on the market. So Windows 7 came into market after Vista failures. Windows after XP, Windows 7 is become more popular. So this is the start menu. There is a we can say what we can say there is a smart search. Want to search for application, all programs. There is direct shortcuts, profile picture, shutdown options, recently viewed, and smart search. Windows 8 again changes that lot of people don't like this Windows 8 start menu. It is a completely tails. Means if you see these things, these are all in the start menu, not given any these options here. So obviously it's a tail. So people don't like it, so they want a start button. So if they given a start button, so they can able to access from start button. But not much user kind of stuff. User wise, users are not like it much more. Okay, so they go to 8.1. They change something, but people don't like it much. Then Windows 10 came. So still some people don't trust the Windows 10. But people who came to Windows 10, they can understand what is the start menu, what are the features are included in Windows 10. It's a huge change, and the people start liking Windows 10. Of course, they don't have any choice also. Then Windows 11 again start menu interface got a little changes. Next one is OneDrive integration. OneDrive is a cloud storage. We can put a data in the OneDrive and you can access the data from anywhere, anytime. You know, OneDrive is also protect you from ransomwares, accidental deletions kind of stuff. It means your data you put it in a OneDrive. So even if your disk is any problem, disk like a accidental deletions occurs in a main disk, or maybe the data corruption is occurs, no problem. You have a data in the OneDrive. Like if you store your important data in Google Drive, same way you can store a data into OneDrive. That is also one feature in the Windows 10. With the email ID is compulsory. Recovery tools like reset, advanced startup options are given to repair yourself. Like you go to update and security and recovery options. See, reset this PC. For example, applications in your PC or operating system not working properly. So you try to open an application to open in a different way. Somewhat you feel that application system is having some problem. So if your PC is not running well, resetting it might help. Let let you to choose to keep your personal file or remove them, then reinstall Windows. So OS is going to be installed. Your application settings will be gone. Next is if you want to keep your personal data, you can keep it. Otherwise, if you want to remove them, also remove it. Okay. So reset this PC might help if your operating system and your system is not at all working properly. Second one is advanced startup, guys. If you click on restart now, then it will take you to the a new interface. Last class I showed how you can able to see in the startup repair kind of stuff. Okay, means OS related troubleshootings, restoration related, safe mode related. You can go for from the this startup. Advanced data. Hyper-V. Hyper-V feature is not available in a Windows 10 Home editions. Available in Pro and Enterprise editions. Windows 10 or Windows 8 Pro or Enterprise editions having this feature. Okay. So what is the use of Hyper-V? If you have a Hyper-V, you can create a virtual machines. In the virtual machine, you can install any operating system. The OS you are installing in a virtual machine is called a guest OS. The OS in the your physical machine is called a host OS. Guys, simply see what is use of Hyper-V. In one single physical machine, you can run multiple virtual machines using Hyper-V. Action Center, right? Tool shortcuts are there like your mobile phones. You can enable, disable, connect, disconnect things from this Action Center. Microsoft Store. Okay, there is in this thing, there is certain future explanation is there. So we can see, guys, there is this airplane mode. So you don't want to connect network or like in a mobile phone, you go to airplane mode. So you don't want to connect to any nearby devices using Bluetooth, Wi-Fi kind of stuff. So what you do, you put a airplane mode. Okay. So you can connect it to your projectors. You can connect it to your remote devices. You can do it. And you can make your laptop as a mobile hotspot. Like you have a mobile with a data connectivity, so you can share your data through mobile hotspot to other mobile phone. The same way, your laptop is connected with wire. Okay, laptop is connected through a LAN wire, and you receive internet through LAN, and you can distribute or share the internet to your wireless devices using Wi-Fi hotspot. Okay. Okay, Microsoft Store. Microsoft Store is like this. This bag you can see the Microsoft Store. Of course, I didn't put my email account. In my old laptop, I have an email account that is given, but it is not required. I think it is directly live in or something. So it is not sign in. It is good. Guys, Microsoft Store is it to download an application from it, like your Android phone or iOS. There is a Play Store kind of stuff. The Microsoft Store is also like a Play Store. You can download some applications freely, some are paid, some games you can able to download it from this one. But to download, you compulsory need to log in as with a from Microsoft account. Universal Windows platform. Have you seen Windows Microsoft Store applications? If you want to build an application like that, so you can build your own application using Universal Windows platform. It is not a direct feature in Windows 10. Of course, you have to download that packages to do it. Universal Windows platform. It is like a Android Studio. So using Android Studio, you can build Android applications for mobile phones and tablets kind of stuff. The same way you can able to do it with a Universal Windows platform. Okay. Microsoft Edge, this is most of you know what is Microsoft Edge or web browser. Usually, Microsoft use Microsoft Explorer, Internet Explorer as a web browser by default. But from Windows 10, so they started using default web browser is Microsoft Edge. Of course, Internet Explorer is also there in the earlier editions of Windows 10. Later, it is completely disabled. Okay. um, they started Windows. Consolidate to do anything in the Windows 10, you can have a settings. Generally, we follow the control panel in a earlier operating system from Windows 8 10. So in 10, it is better improvement of the settings page. So window hotspot, I already told tablet mode. Is it there in this one? Not there. But what is this tablet mode? We can convert our desktop system or a, laptop into a tablet. For example, you have a two-in-one laptop type. So two-in-one laptops are there, no? For example, the two-in-one, you can use the laptop as a laptop as well as tablet. So in that condition, so you can change your environment. Just normally in a laptop, we have a sorry, in a laptop or a desktop, there is a keyboard, give keyboard input, and to select application, we do so many things. Now you don't want, like you want to use it as a tablet. So you want to directly use the swiping options to select applications, like Windows 8 tails options. So you can convert your normal regular desktop environment to tablet mode environment. Next one is Cortana. Okay, I disable a Cortana ring, but because I don't even not required to use now. What is the Cortana? In a Cortana is a voice assistance. Okay, you can set something in Cortana. You can try to find something. You can give a commands to do certain things for your system. Even we can shut down our system using Cortana. Of course, now Cortana is working it's on its own. Okay, not perfectly working. Windows Hello features, guys. Windows Hello features are usually login purpose. Sign in with a face, like you want to log into your PC. Usually, you given a password. You can give pictured password also. Normal password you can give. Picture password means you can select a picture and give some three areas you have to, minimum three areas you have to select for a password. So then if you give that one exactly for a login, so then you can able to login. Pin password, like your mobile phone, you can give a pin number for your laptop, so then you can use a pin password to login. Fingerprint password. Of course, if you have a fingerprint sensor on your laptop, of course it will access sign in fingerprint password. Okay, guys, are you able to hear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
You're
okay,
audible.
good. So the internet is got disconnected. Why it is putting a problem on afternoon, we don't know. From 3 o'clock onwards, it is having problem. Okay. So active hours, task view. I will show you task view. This is task view. So what are the tasks currently running in my PC? What are my previous tasks? What files I opened? All these things showing on my screen. Okay. previous days task sometimes it will shows. Okay. Another one is virtual desktop environment. It's not a virtual machine or a kind of stuff, guys. Different workspace environment. And currently in my PC, things are running like a one Microsoft Edge browser is running, Google Chrome browser running, and this is Microsoft Teams, and then it is a Paint. So if I want to change my environment, so my environment. So here it is, nothing is running. Where is our Teams? Where is that notepad kind of stuff or paintbrush? Not running. Okay, I don't know what you can able to see, but you can see there is no application if in case. So you change the environment, so you cannot able to see what is going on with the other environment. For example, I'm teaching here, but parallelly I want to do some Python development or some I want to learn, or maybe I want to watch a movie kind of stuff. I'm playing a game, so I can do in another virtual desktop environment. Okay, so these are the Windows 10 features, guys. Start menu. So some are compulsory to remember at least to list. So start menu styles, OneDrive integration important. That is OneDrive cloud integration. Reset and advanced startups kind of stuff is also important. Hyper-V is also there in a Windows 10 and Windows 8 in a Pro or Enterprise editions only, not in a Home editions. Windows Microsoft stores, Microsoft Edge, mobile hotspots, tablet modes, Cortana, Windows Hello features, task view, virtual desktops. These are all very important features of Windows 10. Means some are important features. Mm, understand. So this is the features. Okay, guys, understand what is Windows 10 features?
Yes, that's not. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Windows 10 editions, different editions of Microsoft Windows. Windows 10 Home Edition, Pro Edition, Enterprise Edition. So generally you buy a operating system. Well, generally we purchase an operating system, right? So we with a laptop or a desktop, you got an operating system. Most of our operating system are Windows 10 Home editions. For my laptop, it is Pro edition because I didn't buy it. Okay, this laptop company laptop that is Pro edition, and in some organization they give Enterprise editions. Yes, Home editions, Pro editions you can buy individually, but Windows 10 Enterprise editions only by organization. Okay. So Windows 10 Mobile, which is discontinued. Windows 10 Education, Windows 10 AI IoT, some are released from the Microsoft. Important is Windows 10 Home, Pro, and Enterprise. But you are having by default a Windows 10 Pro. So what are the certain features can't see in a Windows 10 Pro? What features we can't able to see? Hyper-V features, local group policy features, BitLocker type of features, Windows to go, App Locker. You cannot join your Windows system to domain system. Okay, if you are a Pro edition, you will get a Hyper-V, local group policies, BitLocker, and App Locker. You can join into the domain. Okay. So Windows to go is enterprise related, but you want to get a enterprise related, so it's by organization only. Okay, Windows 10 Home, Pro, Enterprise. Okay, so for example, somewhere you search in a YouTube or something to install, there is certain feature you want to install. For example, it shows how to install a Hyper-V. So you try and you are unable to locate that Hyper-V option, even you go to that exact location, but you can't see the Hyper-V. So what happened? Check your edition. It is Windows 10 Home Edition or a Pro Edition or Enterprise Edition. Okay. So find out what is your Windows 10 edition or Windows 11 edition. Activation. Either you take using Windows operating system, or in that at Windows 10 your home edition, pro edition, enterprise edition, compulsory you have to activate it. You buy a operating system from market, like a CD kind of stuff, or you download operating system and then you pay for a license. So they will give a license key. So install operating system in a desktop or laptop, insert a key, then it will be try to activate. So this type of activation is a retail type. Means you have a laptop or a desktop kind of stuff. So you buy an operating system, you got a license key, insert a license key. Okay, so that is retail type. OEM, original equipment manufacturer. Most of us, we are buying a laptops from Dell company, HP company, Lenovo company, and we are getting operating system inside. You need to buy operating system separately. It comes with an operating system inside. And where is that operating? Where is that operating system license key? It is in the your PC hardware only. So you no need to specifically buy any license key. It's already installed and it is available inside your that laptop only. Means that hardware only. If in case in a retail, guys, in a retail, your processor is damaged, or maybe you want to change a hard disk. So what to do? You are moving from one system to another system, like a migration. Okay, so you have to install OS in that new system and give the license key while you have to remove it from the old system. Okay, so retail. So when system devices are damaged, so in a retail, so you have to require a reactivation. But in a OEM, it is not like that, guys. You want to change from your laptop to another laptop, so your license key cannot be transferred from there to here. Okay, in a OEM. So your license stays in your system. Microsoft Volume Licensing or KMS, Key Management System, uses like this. Means I have a multiple systems in my enterprise environment. So I purchase the bundle of licenses from Microsoft. 50 employees, 50 bundle. 100 employees, 250 licenses. 250, 50. I like that. Like 100, one licenses like that. But if you buy a bundle of licenses, how to distribute to a genuine system? So depends upon Active Directory and as well as a volume licensing system will activate your license. Okay. What is meant by activation? Your product is activated means confirm that product and product key status. Establish relationship between product key installation on specific device. Azure software integrity. Provide full update support, license compliances kind of stuff. Okay. So that is about your license migration. Of course, I can tell upgradations and migration, guys. Upgrade and migrate. So remember upgrade and migrate. So upgradation means you have a system. In this one already Windows 7 is installed or maybe Windows 8 is installed. ఏం సార్? ఏం కనిపించట్లేదు. అయిపోయింది సార్, నా పని కూడా అయిపోయింది. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. చూసాను. I want to upgrade it to Windows 10. This is called a upgrade. What is migrate? I have a system. It's become old. In migration, two things. It's become old. So I have taken a new system. I'm migrating to new one. So my entire data, operating system, or maybe mainly our profile, picture, things, data, everything we have to transfer. First, we have to install new OS or maybe same OS we are migrating. So in generally, migration means same to same, Windows 10 to Windows 10. It does not mean always. Does not mean always. Okay. It can be a Windows 8 and it can be a Windows 10. Okay. So migrating generally means one device to another device. In some places, in place migration. In place migration. In place migration means so your system having some problem. I want to remove the existing OS, install a OS again. So what I have to do? First, I will connect a AI backup device. First, put all the data into this backup device. Remove the current operating system and reinstall operating system and restore the backup. Okay. So this is in place migration. Sometimes in this place also OS maybe changes means so it can be another operating system, upgradation operating system or same operating system. No guarantee. This is upgrade and migrate. Guys, understand what we discuss? What is an operating system? What is kernel and shell part of operating system? Okay, very good. Desktop, server OS.
Type of Windows. Yes, sir.
Okay, Windows Linux differences. Windows of 10, some features, additions. That's it. Okay, activation is not very, very important. It's okay to do it. So tomorrow we'll see the other things like Windows 10 administration that related run commands. Okay, what is service management, registry management, what is safe mode, what is start system restoration, BSOD troubleshooting kind of stuff. Also, we'll see. Once it is application issues management, once we completed that one or two Windows administration things are there. That is also we'll try. Okay, that's it for today, guys.
Okay, sir.